welcome back to Plum Mashable. So today's video is going to be a Memorydex card. This one's part of the Memorydex Weekly Challenge. So if you want to see how I made this one, then just keep watching. Alright, so if you have been following along with me on Instagram, you know I've been doing the Memorydex Weekly Challenge. I have almost caught up. I'm about 3 weeks behind still, so this is week 13. You would have seen all the others. I've been doing them off camera, but this is week 13 and the theme is Let's Flamingle. Yeah, I know, that's really cool. Now I went through not quite all my office, but a big chunk of it and found as much as I could that had flamingos in it. And so what I found is these old, really old, Aldi die cuts. We've got these ones. This is also an Aldi piece of paper from a really old paper pack. And then I found these little pins, and I think these are from Aldi as well, but I'm going to show you, I'm going to make these into a little charm that I'm going to attach to a paper clip. So we'll start off with the actual card itself. So I've dumped into my scrap collection, pulled out a piece of white cardboard. So I'm going to cut this to 13 wide, and then just for now I'm going to leave it because I want to attach the paper to this before I cut the top, because I want to do the top all in one go. So I'm also going to cut a little bit of this paper down. So we'll go into 13. Now for anyone that's following along, this will go into my green scraps, because yes, it has pink flamingos, pink flamingos, but to me it's green. That's my colour there. So I'm just going to cut that to about the same size as the card, and then I'm also going to grab this bit of craft cardstock and cut that just to 13 wide, because I'm going to use this as my base. So we're going to start off with the little hill that they're, actually no we're not. We're going to start off with the actual card base itself, because then while that's gluing together, I was going to use liquid glue, I've just decided I don't want to. While it's gluing together, but it won't be gluing together, so maybe not. So I'm just going to run this all along the top. I'm just going to go a little bit further up just in case I decide to go much taller. I won't, but just in case. And we'll just stick these together. Now liquid glue is easier for this, but it's obviously needs time to dry. So it's just whatever you're more comfortable with. I'm okay if that's not quite perfect, but that's actually probably the best I've ever done. God damn it. Alright, so we're going to move on to the base of this, and I need this to look like a bit of a sandy kind of hill, which is why I've kind of cheated and used the craft cardstock. I've pulled in 2 shades of Distress Oxide, and I'm also going to grab my simple stitched hillside borders from Lawn Fawn, and I'm going to have this middle hill. I think this will be my hill, so shaped like this. So let's grab a little bit of my not so great washi tape. Just hold this still, run it through the die machine, and then we're going to make it look like sand. Now I'm happy to cut this make this too tall and then trim stuff off, rather than actually it end up being too short. So I'm going to cut more than I need. Just run this through the die machine. So I'm going to grab my blending brush, and we're going to use gathered twigs to start with. I just want to add just a little bit of shadow just on the top of the hill, and then from there, so it's just a tiny little bit, but then we're going to add some splotches in that are going to make this look actually like sand. So I'm going to put a little bit of the gathered twigs, gathered twigs, I'll get my words right eventually, and a little bit of the ground espresso, and just grab a little bit of water. So I just added some water to these, and we're just going to flick them on here to try and get a bit of a sandy kind of thing happening. So it's just water, I'm just flicking. You guys have seen me do this before. I do want to try something else, like another medium with this. So I've got all of the Kaiser mists, and I don't use them. And I mean to use them, but I don't. I'm just shaking that up because I know all the colours sitting at the bottom. I'm not going to spray this onto the card. I just want to spray it onto my mat a little bit. So it's a little bit darker. Ooh, I like that extra darkness. Other than using black soot, which is my really darkest ink, I don't think I could get that dark. The other thing I want to try, which I just need to clean off my brush a little bit here. And all I do is I just wipe it off onto my mat, onto my microfiber cloth, because it will clean that. I also want to put some white speckles on here. So I want to try, usually I use acrylic paint, but I just want to try my Kaiser mist and see what I get. Now I'm just giving you a big old warning, all of those splatters are going to make a mess on your desk. If you don't have a really cleanable desk like I do, maybe do it outside. But my desk cleans up really nicely, so I'm not worried. I think this is going to be too opaque, but I'm going to try it. Is that the right word, opaque? Oh, that might be okay. I'm just adding just a little bit of speckle. You don't want to go too over the top, but just a little bit of extra contrast. So you've gone the dark and now you've gone the light. Alright, I'm just going to dry that really quickly with my heat tool, and that's more because I want to check if that white dries down and if we're going to have to add some paint. I'm not a big fan of the really big splodges, but I'm going to go with it. So I'm just going to put that off to the side and just tidy this up a little bit. Okay, so now that that bottom's done, we can bring in the top. Kind of start working out where we want this card to be. So I want that to sit a bit lower. I want to use the exact same angle for the top of the card. It'll kind of end up looking like this weird mirror of itself. So I reckon it's about there. So we'll run that through, and then we can start working where this hill's gonna sit. So now it's all dry. And then we'll grab the die cuts. And it might not even be really low. I thought I'd need a little bit more room. Now I forgot to move those out of the way before, so they do have a couple of little brown speckles on them, but that's okay. I kind of had this thought of doing, I've got some letters here. I was going to do the Let's Flamingle, but might not quite work. Do you know what I really hate? I hate the amount of white that's around that, so I'm actually going to fussy cut these just a little bit, just to try and bring that white down. Now these were from Aldi, so I don't expect them to be good. More to the point, they've sat in my cupboard for, oh goodness, probably 2 or 3 years, so must have been a reason why I wasn't using them. But I can fix that. Obviously I can't move it up at the bottom, but I can move them enough at the midpoint here to kind of make it look a little bit less white spacey. They look a little bit better. They're still not quite where I'd have them. Hold on. I need to do the red one too. Missed him. So the tree's fine. Just going to cut. It's just a very, very, very small slither of white showing behind the flamingo here. So I'm just trimming that off. Now the reason I'm not putting my holes in here is I want to work out exactly where everything sits, and then we'll do the holes in one go. I think that's the spot. So just while I'm working out where everything goes, I'm going to grab that washi tape that I used just to hold that still while I work this out. So we're going to have the flamingo and the flamingo. I like that positioning, and I'm just trying to work out, maybe I'll put one behind the hill and then I can put the flamingo, Let's Flamingle at the bottom. I think that'll work. So we'll put this guy in first because he needs to go in first. I was going to use my glue tape, but I am going to use my liquid glue just so I've got some movement or some time to move this around. I deliberately want that to sit up higher because I kind of think it's cool when the cards don't stick to a normal shape, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to put that where I want it. Use that tape again. I'm just drawing on the back, just marking where I don't want the glue. That way I don't put glue in the wrong spots. Down a little bit lower because we're going to cut his legs off anyway, so might as well just have that height difference be there. Alright, so I'll cut those feet off. I don't know if anyone will notice, so I'm just going to leave that like that, so he kind of looks like he's got one really short foot, but that's alright. Alright, then we're going to grab the punch out because we need to get that in the right spot. Lining that up. Ow! I pinched me, but it's alright. So that was 3 layers of cardboard, so that makes sense as to why that was a bit harder. Alright, and then we'll get the flamingo on the side. Now this, I actually think these are going to be too big. So these are also from that Aldi collection so long ago, which is why I really don't mind if I kind of waste some. So I'm just going to have some fun here. Okay, I might have to do the Flamingo big and then do the lets in a different way. I'm going to work backwards just because then I'll make sure it all fits. So I'll use that same E. I gotta remember how to spell flamingo. I'm going to have glitter on my fingers for weeks. I'm just trying to keep them not the same colours all in a row. Flamingo's not going to fit, is it? This is why we started on this side. Actually would look really cool is a Let's that's heat embossed. So I'm going to do that, but before we do, I'm going to get this little, I want to have a little paper clip that's hanging. Now I found these. I think these were in the same collection, and I could be really basic and just sort of stick this in the corner and have that as just an extra little bit, but I really want it to be a little hanging charm off this paper clip, so the paper clip will sit here and just have this little flamingo dangling down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my wire snips, and this is, please wear glasses when you're doing this. What I do is I already wear glasses, so that helps me. Ryan's going to stand back and all I'm doing is I'm just cutting off the sharp bit. That's all it is, so it's not too much of it. I'm just going to hold this still. Squeeze hard. And there we go, we've got rid of the sharp bit. Then all I'm going to do is grab a pair of pliers and just roll this round. It's not the easiest thing to do, and if I had some slightly more pointy tipped pliers, this would be probably easier again, but I don't, so I'm just making it work. And I'm just trying to spin this round. So I had to get Ryan to help me out there because I couldn't do it, but if you've got someone strong in the house, use them, but otherwise just assist with it because it's not really that hard. I'm just being lazy. Then grab that little paper clip and just thread this on. I'm having real issues with little things at the moment. thread that on like that. And there we've made our own little Flamingo planner paper Memorydex charm. And again, it's not designed to be anything other than just a little bit of extra bling. Alright, so we're going to really quickly heat emboss that Let's on there. Alright, took me a bit longer than I would have liked to find that, but that's alright. So I've grabbed this one. This is Simply Celebrate. This is a lawn fawn one. Just grabbed a little bit of black cardboard and just grabbing my powder tool and just putting that all over the top of this, because all I want to stick here is just the sentiment and nothing else. The more powder you can put on, the better. Just grabbing my VersaFine ink as well, and also a coffee filter. I found at the moment this is the best way for me to be able to get the powder back in once I'm finished. And then just grab the embossing powder. So because we just want a certain part of this sentiment, find if you let the stamp itself kind of dictate where it sits, that just helps it stay straight. Now, I'm only using a little bit of this anyway, so it won't be too much of a problem. But so I just mark off where I don't want the ink, and we'll just take that washi off. So only the Let's has actually got any stamp on it at all, or ink on it, sorry, at all. Just lining that up where I want it. Now I have got a little bit of an impression here, so all I'm going to do is grab that powder tool back in and just go over the top of where the second ink was. That way nothing will stick to it. Grab your embossing powder. And then just before I heat this up, I'm just going in with just a really little brush. I'm just trying to get off any of the big bits of powder that are still there without knocking off anything else. There we go. Heat tool in. I always heat from the back for the first bit and then come to the front. Just stops the warping a little bit. And then I just grab in my microfiber cloth again once this is dry, and then just brush off all that powder. There we go. That's probably one of the best ones I've ever done, which isn't saying much because my heat embossing skills are pretty crap. Alright, so we'll just bring the paper trimmer back in and cut this off. So I just want it to be a little border, the same on the other side. I'm just using the paper trimmer to guide, make sure it stays straight. Stick that. Oh, that's going up on foam tape because that just looks really cool. I really like that. I didn't think I would. I was really thinking this Flamingo one wasn't going to be good, but I actually really like that. I'm a little iffy still on the charm, but let me know what you think on that. I can take it off, obviously. It's just sort of there, but no, but it's missing something without it. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Plus, it's kind of nice to have a 3D element. I know it's got the little bit of foam tape there, but oops. Trying to get that in the right spot. There we go. So let me know what you think of that one. That is week, was it 13, I think, of my Memorydex weekly challenge. I haven't been doing all of these on camera because honestly they've just been for me more than anything else, just to keep me creating and crafting through this time. But if you do want to see more of them on my channel, please let me know and I'm happy to do that. Especially now that I've caught up, I kind of feel like I can do them, maybe not every week, but every other week. So let me know down below, or you can find me on any of my socials. Don't forget to give this one a thumbs up if you did enjoy the video, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you want to join in with the challenge as well, it's just hashtag memorydexweekly over on Instagram. If you search for it, you'll find it. It's really, really easy. Otherwise, I'll link it down below and you can check it out as well. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!